The 1976 Bicentennial Quarter is more than just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of America's 200th birthday. To celebrate the United States bicentennial, the U.S. Mint introduced special coin designs in 1975 and 1976 for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins. These coins featured unique reverse designs to honor the 200th anniversary of American independence. On the quarter, instead of the usual eagle, you'll see a majestic colonial drummer, believed to represent a young patriot from the Revolutionary War. Designed by Jack L. Ahr, the drummer holds his sticks proudly, with a flame encircled by 13 stars symbolizing the original colonies. The obverse still features George Washington, but with a twist. The date reads 1776 to 1976, marking it as a special bicentennial issue. Over 860 million bicentennial quarters were minted in Denver, the D mint mark, making it a common coin, but certain rare varieties are worth their weight in gold. Literally. The 1976 D quarter so special. At first glance, it may seem like there are too many of these coins for them to be worth much. But here's the twist, not all 1976 D bicentennial quarters are created equal. Some of these coins were struck with errors, others with special compositions, and a select few have unusual die varieties that make them extremely valuable to collectors. Combine that with the immense historical significance of the coin, and suddenly, what looks like a regular quarter could be a ticket to a 5- or even 6-figure payday. Rare error varieties. Let's break down the most valuable and rarest error types you should be hunting for. Fire 1. Double die obverse, DDO, or reverse, DDR. Some 1976 D quarters show signs of doubling, particularly on the date, "In God We Trust," or the drummer's details. These can sell for $1,000 to over $5,000 depending on condition. Fire 2. Off-center strikes. These quarters were struck off alignment, sometimes as much as 50% off. A 1976 D bicentennial quarter with a major off-center strike can sell for $3,000 to $10,000. Fire 3. Broad struck without rims. When the coin is struck without the retaining collar, the design spreads beyond its normal borders. Broad struck errors in high grade can bring in $500 to $2,000 or more. Fire 4. Wrong planchet errors. Some extremely rare 1976 D quarters were accidentally struck on planchets meant for other coins, such as dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins. These are ultra-rare and can sell for $15,000, $25,000, and even higher at major auctions. Fire 5. Missing clad layer. If a bicentennial quarter is missing the outer nickel layer, it will appear more copper in color. These rare pieces can go for $1,000 to $6,000 plus depending on grade. Special silver-clad editions. Here's something most people don't realize, some bicentennial quarters were struck in 40% silver, but only as part of special collector sets, not for general circulation. These silver-clad quarters, especially in proof or uncirculated condition, are already more valuable. But if you find a 1976 D silver-clad quarter with an error, then the value skyrockets. Collision in 2023, one such error example, a 1976 D silver-clad quarter with a dramatic double strike and mint state condition, sold for over $90,000 at auction. Mint state and grading matters. Collectors and dealers alike pay a premium for pristine coins, especially those graded by services like PCGS or NGC. White heavy checkmark in 1976 D bicentennial quarter graded MS 68, mint state 68, or higher can easily bring in $3,000 to $7,000, even without errors. White heavy checkmark combine an ultra-high grade with a known error or variety. Now you're talking $50,000 to $150,000 range. Don't underestimate a clean, sharp-looking quarter. If your 1976 D bicentennial quarter is uncirculated, lustrous, and free from contact marks, it could be a sleeping giant just waiting to be discovered. How to spot a rare one. Face with monocle. Here are the steps to examine your 1976 D Bicentennial Quarter. Check the mint mark. Look for the D on the right side of Washington's ponytail. Look closely for errors. Use a magnifying glass to search for doubling, missing letters, or unusual features. Check the edge. Is it silver? You might have a 40% silver version. Weigh the coin. A regular clad quarter weighs about 5.67 g. Anything lighter or heavier might signal a wrong planchet or missing clad layer. Get it graded. If you believe you found something special, submit it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Big reveal and call to action. Direct hit. So there you have it. A single 1976 D Bicentennial Quarter could be worth $500, $5,000, even $100,000 or more if it has the right errors, the right metal, or the right grade. Moneybag. Imagine finding that kind of treasure in your old coin jar, junk drawer, or coin roll. It's the ultimate hidden fortune just waiting to be discovered. Light bulb. And if you've made it this far in the video, here's your reward. The rarest known 1976 D Bicentennial Quarter sold for over $150,000 at auction, a double-struck error on a silver-clad planchet in pristine condition. Only one is known to exist. Loudspeaker. If you're as fascinated by rare coins as I am, don't forget to thumbs up like this video. Bell. Subscribe to our channel, USA Coins Value, for weekly content. Speech balloon. Comment below if you've got a Bicentennial Quarter, we'd love to hear your story. Outbox tray. Share this with a friend who might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. 1965 Washington Quarter with no mint mark. At first, this coin might look just like any regular quarter you'd find in your pocket. It has George Washington's face on the front and an eagle on the back, just like many other quarters. But here's the surprising part. Some of these 1965 quarters are actually worth thousands of dollars. Why? Because a few were accidentally made using silver instead of the regular metal used that year. This makes them very rare and valuable to collectors. To understand why this happened, we need to look at a little bit of history. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made of 90% silver. But in 1965, the U.S. Mint decided to stop using silver in quarters because it was getting too expensive. Starting that year, quarters were made of a mixture of copper and nickel instead of silver. However, a small number of 1,965 quarters were still accidentally made using the old silver blanks, also known as silver planchets. These silver planchets were supposed to be used in 1964, but somehow, a few of them got mixed in with the 1965 batch. So, how can you tell if you have one of these rare silver 1965 quarters? First, you need to check the weight. A regular 1965 quarter made from copper nickel weighs about 5.67 grams. But a silver quarter weighs more, around 6.25 grams. That may not sound like a big difference, but for coin experts and collectors, it's huge. If you have a small digital scale at home, you can use it to weigh your quarter. If it's closer to 6.25 grams, you might have something special. Another way to check is to look at the edge of the coin. Regular 1965 quarters have a copper-colored line running along the edge. This is because they are made of copper inside with a thin layer of nickel on the outside. But silver quarters don't have that copper line, their edges look solid silver all the way through. So, if your quarter has a solid silver edge and it weighs more than usual, it could be one of the rare silver errors from 1965. Now let's talk about the value. If you find one of these silver 1965 quarters in good condition, collectors might pay anywhere from $4,500 to $7,000 for it. That's a big reward for something that looks like everyday change. And if the coin is in mint condition, meaning it has never been used and has no scratches or wear, it could be worth even more. Some of these have sold for up to $15,000 at auction. That's like finding a small treasure in your coin jar. Experts usually examine these coins closely with a magnifying glass to look for small details. Things like the shine, the edge, and even the sound the coin makes when dropped can help tell if it's silver or not. Silver coins make a higher pitched ring sound compared to copper-nickel ones. It's pretty cool how such a tiny difference can mean the coin is worth a fortune. You're sorting through your old coins, don't ignore those 1965 quarters. Even though most of them are only worth 25 cents, a few are worth thousands because of this rare silver mistake. It's a good idea to keep a digital scale handy and always check for those solid silver edges. Who knows, you might have a valuable coin sitting in your collection right now and not even realize it.